So how can a tech entrepreneur move from being running a small business to building a really big business that transform the world like Amazon and Google? I think I think there's two like really big elements. One is like the founder, the entrepreneur, really has to have really big ambition, has to really want it. It's like building a business is very difficult, and once you go past the initial struggle and you start to make some money, you have to. It takes a lot, like a really big vision to decide to keep going. And I think many times this in of itself is the key reason why people don't actually go on to build like really huge businesses. I think because after the stress of getting just past the beginning and surviving and now making some money and having some employees, many founders are not just don't have the ambition to go much further, don't have the vision to go much further. But I think it's important to have that vision to go much further, because I think it's really, especially in a country like Nigeria, those who have the means to build successful businesses are really the people that have the potential to really transform the country. But that comes from making much bigger businesses. Companies like Amazon, Walmart, Google have hundreds of thousands of people that work for them and are transforming cities because the founders have the ambition to go much further. So the first is like the founders really have to have the really big vision and ambition to go much further, even after they've satisfied their own personal initial desire and passion to see the idea come to birth, come to life. Now it has come to life. It's no more. That's no more the passion that is driving them. There has to be another passion that kicks in to make them want to make the business much bigger. When they have that, the next thing I believe that is important is that they have to have humility. The humility is really around really understanding the gap between what they have and what is required to get to where they need to get to. So that might include the humility to understand that they need more capital, meaning that they need to go out and raise capital and give up some control of the business, because if they have a proper assessment of what is required to get to where they need to go, they may realize that they need capital to get there, that with their existing cash flows they might not be able to get there, or that they need partners, or they need to hire in like more senior people or more capable people that are experts in one area or another, or partnerships, even including merging. Fundamentally, there's often a gap between between what it takes to achieve the big vision and what we have as individuals or as leaders, and we may overestimate or underestimate what it's going to take to get to the next level because of our having gotten to the first level, or just because of our confidence in ourselves. So I think that's the second like really big thing that put together can help companies really build like founders build really massive transformational businesses. The second question was to do with my own experience as a young founder of a company in my early 20s that I was able to grow into multiple countries and eventually to list on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And the question was, what do founders need to do very early in the companies in order to be able to bring in external funding eventually at some point, and also how do they navigate the whole equity share thing. I think it's important that founders just think of always about the idea that they're going to bring somebody else into the business, make their business, even if they never end up doing it, but it just makes them be more tidy about the financials, prevent commingling of financials and so on. And however, I think like ultimately, like, you need to do what you need to do. I think that is a point that is probably overstated when you read literature, when you listen to people. Ultimately, you need to build a really good business, very sound unit economics, meaning a good business model, meaning you make money, you create value, significant amount of value, you capture a reasonable amount of that value, and it costs you a lot less to deliver that value than you are collecting. When investors see that, they are far more forgiving of any small okay, you loaned money to the company, or you borrowed money. So So I think fundamentally you need, like, a business that is growing will get, probably would be able to raise, attract capital. I think the second is really like the mindset that it takes to attract capital, which is really a mindset, again, of humility, a mindset that really understands, has a good sense of what is the gap, what do I need, how much capital do I need, what am I willing to give up for that. And you know, I would recommend a book. There's a book called Founder's Dilemma. Is the book that I found most helpful about these questions of equity, with investors, or even with co-founders. It really talks about it in depth. It's an American book, but I think it applies very much to Nigeria as well.